Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're unleashing the terrifying might of Russia's TOS-1A Solntsepek thermobaric rocket launcher, the heavy flamethrower system that's become a symbol of devastating area denial firepower in modern conflicts, capable of saturating targets with 24 fuel-air explosive rockets in mere seconds to create massive overpressure waves and fireballs that obliterate fortifications, infantry positions, and light armor across a 300-meter kill zone, all while mounted on a rugged T-72 tank chassis for frontline mobility in high-intensity urban and trench warfare. If you're a military technology enthusiast, a tactical weapons analyst, or simply fascinated by the brutal engineering that harnesses aerosolized fuels to generate vacuum-like blasts exceeding 30 pounds per square inch, strong enough to rupture lungs and collapse bunkers without needing pinpoint accuracy, you're in for a comprehensive and blast wave expanding deep dive. The TOS-1A Solntsepek, developed by Omsk Transmash under Rostec since its introduction in 2001 as an upgrade to the Soviet-era TOS-1 Buratino, isn't just a multiple rocket launcher, it's a 23-foot-long, 46-ton behemoth with a rotating pod of 24 220mm tubes, each firing unguided thermobaric rockets with a range up to 10 kilometers, featuring enhanced protection against drones and artillery, while delivering the equivalent of over 500 kilograms of TNT in a single full salvo to support infantry assaults or clear cave complexes. From its combat debut in the Second Chechen War to its heavy use in Syria and Ukraine, where it's claimed over 100 Ukrainian positions in 2022 alone, this system has evolved through upgrades like the GLONASS-guided 9M552 rocket for improved precision and the TOS-1AM variant's thermal shielding, incorporating gallium nitride electronics for better fire control and slat armor to fend off anti-tank threats, making it a pivotal asset in Russia's doctrine of overwhelming close support fire amid escalating peer conflicts. We'll dissect its extraordinary destructive capabilities in exhaustive detail, provide a thorough technical overview grounded in operational assessments and recent field reports, explore its critical strategic role in Russian combined arms tactics and hybrid warfare, sprinkle in some chilling fun facts to enrich the narrative, and wrap up with the most recent developments, including fresh deliveries and battlefield adaptations. So, prime the burster charge, disperse the aerosol, and let's ignite the analysis for everything you need to know about Russia's TOS-1A Solntsepek thermobaric rocket launcher. The TOS-1. Solntsepek's capabilities elevate it to the pinnacle of thermobaric fire support systems, engineered as a multi-role area saturation platform to dominate fortified or urban battle spaces with a lethal blend of incendiary dispersion, prolonged overpressure, and psychological dominance, allowing it to flood enclosed kill zones like bunkers, buildings, or trenches with aerosol clouds that ignite into sustained fireballs exceeding 2,500 degrees Celsius, maintain wide area suppression through rapid volleys that cover 300 meters by 400 meters in under 12 seconds, and inflict catastrophic internal trauma via rebounding blast waves that rupture organs and consume oxygen, rivaling precision-guided munitions in confined lethality while demanding minimal accuracy for operations over theaters like the Donbas front lines or Syrian urban mazes. At its core, this launcher excels in two-phase devastation, where the MO.1.0-1.04 M2 rocket, 5.5 kilograms of thermobaric filler in a thin-walled canister, bursts at impact or airburst to aerosolize propylene oxide or metal powders over a 40 to 50 meter lethal radius in open terrain, followed by a secondary fuse that sparks a 10-second pressure pulse peaking at 30 to 40 pounds per square inch, outpacing high explosive rounds by amplifying heat effects in structures through wall reflections and vacuum implosions that collapse lungs and shatter concrete without shrapnel scatter. Its enveloping fury arises from the 24-tube rotating pod fused with a TKN-3A commander sight for thermal targeting up to 10 kilometers, complemented by the 1D14 Fire Control Suite's ballistic computer that programs airburst heights for optimal mist spread over rooftops or ridgelines, All while the T-72 chassis provides 60 km/h mobility and 550 km range to reposition swiftly after salvos. For integrated assaults, the TOS-1A supports battery-level operations of 3 vehicles delivering 72 warheads in under 1 minute, extendable to 144 with TZMT reloaders in 24 minutes, empowering deployments 3 to 6 kilometers behind the front to vaporize enemy concentrations or deny caves in Afghanistan's Panjshir, and its electronic aids, including laser rangefinders accurate to 10 meters, can geolocate spotters or override manual sights during chaos. The crew station, with analog panels and helmet sights, overlays trajectory arcs from distributed optics, providing spherical targeting for off-bore sight barrages like facade breaches, enabling a 3-man team to orchestrate complex salvos like simultaneous trench denial and smokescreens amid 4G recoils. The chassis' explosive reactive armor and slat cages sustain operations in contaminated zones up to nuclear, biological, chemical threats without failure. This unrelenting holocaust positions the TOS-1A as a siege savage, primed to spearhead breakthroughs shattering urban mazes, shadow mechanized waves for creeping barrages, or execute standalone purges, with programmable bursts charting radii at meter fidelity through fog, cementing its infamy in Russia's close combat canon through the 2030s. To fully appreciate the TOS-1A Solntsepek's engineering ferocity, let's explore its technical specifications and operational dynamics as Omsk Transmash's blueprint forges a brutal ballet of chemistry and chassis, yielding a barrager that's as mobile as it is merciless, exemplified by the 23-foot-long TOS-1A at 46 tons on a modified T-72 hull with a 24-tube 220mm pod, driven by a 780-horsepower V84 MS diesel for 60 km/h road dashes and 550 km ranges, featuring hydraulic elevation from 0 to 55 degrees and full 360-degree traverse for rapid alignments. The warhead's dual-chamber alchemy with 5.5 kilograms of thermobaric slurry in thin-walled vessels trims mass by 20% versus solid explosives, while unleashing 12-kilogram TNT equivalents, courtesy of aerosol bursters, timed igniters, and tunable mixes like ethylene oxide for bunkers or ammonium nitrate for fields. And the swivel pod maximizes coverage footprints up to 300 meters wide, mated to a TKN-3A commander site for night ops with thermal channels. Avionics, though Spartan, packed the 1D14 laser rangefinder with 800 gallium arsenide modules for interleaved acquisition and computation up to 10 kilometers, synced to a GPK-59 gyro compass for fire on the move, while the control nook's rugged panel with voice overrides cues off-site volleys where crews align by scope. Pods cradle 24 rounds with 6-kilometer envelopes or thermobaric clusters for denial, with support trucks adding 2 reloads for 72 total in a company, embracing smoke pots or incendiary variants, and self-shields boast Contact 5 explosive reactive armor and reactive panels against ATGMs. Operationally, the TOS-1A erupts with calculated carnage. Crews advance at 40 km/h to lobbing range, swivel for lock at 5 km. The rangefinder slaves a blanket from the tubes, then withdraws amid the roar while optics sustain horizon watch, all enveloped in a 10-kilometer arc linking infantry assaults to artillery parks, forging it a doctrinal demolisher for breakthroughs in barricaded hells, with recent TOS-1AM upgrades adding thermal shielding to cut infrared by 60%, electro-hydraulic stabilization for accurate fire while rolling, and counter-unmanned aircraft mesh netting embedded with radar-absorbent material to defeat loitering threats. The TOS-1A Solntsepek's strategic role is profoundly influential in Russia's fire support evolution, serving as the area effect backbone of mechanized forces to shatter fortifications and demoralize defenders in urban or mountainous contingencies, particularly in sieges like Grozny in 1995 or Bakhmut in 2022, where their rebounding blasts and fire seas force capitulation from coverless craters, meshing with T-90 tanks and BM-21 Grads for fused furies that eclipse piecemeal pushes and integrate with All-10 drones for targeting handoffs. As Rostek churns over 100 TOS-1, as with the wheeled TOS-2 to Sochka for 30% lighter logistics and the TOS-3 Dragon for anti-drone veils, it steals hybrid havoc, flanking Spetsnaz for cavern cleanses, or sinking with Su-25 jets for overhead hell, while Schmel variants arm squads for squad-scale shocks in distributed dooms, bolstering the ground force's close combat cannon through the 2030s with psychological dominance that breaks morale faster than bullets. Fun fact 1. The TOS-1A's nickname Solntsepek translates to scorching sun, a nod to the blinding white flash visible from 10 kilometers that earned it the fearsome moniker in Chechen lore as a hell's furnace. Fun fact 2. A single rocket's blast wave can collapse a 2-story reinforced concrete building from 50 meters away. Yet the warhead weighs less than a standard artillery shell, highlighting its efficiency in urban denial. Fun fact 3. During trials, engineers recorded ground temperatures of 1,200 degrees Celsius, lingering for 8 seconds post-detonation, enough to ignite secondary fires in wooden structures up to 100 meters distant, turning one salvo into a self-sustaining inferno. Recent developments highlight Russia's TOS-1A Solntsepek as a frontline terror, with Uralvagonzavod's handover of upgraded batches featuring the M.0.1.01.04 M2 rocket at 10-kilometer reaches and beefier blasts per Rostec announcements, while the TOS-3 Dragon's showcase introduced truck-borne mobility with anti-drone mesh and TOS-2 pods for swifter strikes amid Ukraine's ongoing drone threats. Watchdogs like Human Rights Watch continue decrying urban excesses for organ-rending enclosures in civilian zones, but with 3 decades of tweaks and documented losses spurring rapid replacements, these barrages bedrock Russia's breach and burn tactics through the 20s, solidifying their role in close support firepower against evolving peer challenges. The TOS-1. A Solntsepek Thermobaric rocket launcher is a tracked titan of tactical terror, blending mobility, mass, and mercilessness to breach the unbreakable and burn the bold. What are your thoughts on the TOS-1A? Impressed by its salvo supremacy, wary of its urban devastation, or curious about its counter-drone upgrades? Share your insights in the comments below. Give this video a like if it's scorched for you, share it with your defense crew, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the weapons waging tomorrow's wars. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.